Welcome to my channel today. It's really nice to be in your homes, in your lives, in your devices, in your living room, wherever you're watching this from. This is Shells of Shirley.com, and I'm glad to be in your faces today. Now, I have something in my heart to share with you today on bread and wine. And as a matter of fact, this thought came at a critical time in my life, and I sense in my heart that somebody out there really needs to hear this at this point in their lives. What I'm going to be talking about is not new. If you've been around long enough, you pretty much must have heard maybe a preacher or a motivator or a music artist give the same kind of encouragement, but I'm pretty sure somebody out there needs to hear it, and that's why I'm just doing it quickly as it came. And the thought is simply that you should stand still. When you've done all you know to do, when you've done all within your control, when you've done all you should do, maybe it's time to stand still. And let me talk about that issue of control for just a bit. The truth is, not everything is within your control. That's just the reality. People, for example, are not within your control. We're not given dominion over people to control them like robots. The earlier we learn that, the earlier we realize that, more peace we'll have, and they will not fret or trouble our lives trying to control people, or because people are just not willing to yield to the control that we're trying to effect on them. Your husband, your wife, they are not fully under your control. Actually, they are not under your control. You may be a boss, your staff, fine, but your staff are not under your control. How about your kids? They have a mind of their own. The reality is this: human beings are not meant to be controlled by other human beings. Every person was created with a will and a power of choice. It is something God put in everybody. So they are going to have to, at some point or the other, exercise that will, exercise that choice. No matter your appeals, no matter your bullying, no matter your decrees that you issue, no matter your commands, no matter your attempt at coercing them or even coaxing them. You may try to woo them with gifts or appeals or blackmail or lobbying, fine. But ultimately, each person will have to make a decision, and that decision may be in line with your will or outrightly contrary to your will. So what are you going to do? When you've done all you can, when you've done all within your power, when you've done all you know to do, and as a matter of fact, you prayed, you trusted God, you've been in faith. You're probably still in faith now, even if you can't understand why things are not going well, why nothing seems to be working. But you're still in faith because somehow you still believe in God. You've not fallen out of faith, as it were. You've prayed, you fasted, and nothing seems to be happening. As a matter of fact, to make it worse, God seems to be silent. I mean, at some point, probably all you just want to hear is God telling you, relax child, I got this. But the guy isn't saying anything. God has just been silent about that issue, and then you're almost thrown into tantrums. Maybe this is time for you to stand still. God told the Israelites, stand still and see the salvation of God. Stand what? Stand still? How am I going to stand still when I'm in between two terrible devils? Pharaoh and his army, and that was the most sophisticated army of their day. Pharaoh and his army on one side, a raging Red Sea on the other side, billowing and ready to swallow you, and you're saying I should stand still. That's the most difficult thing for you to do, to stand still. You want to work, you want to do something about it, you want to keep solving the problem. Have you not noticed that everything you're doing at this point in your life is not changing anything? You will just fret, you will just panic, you run yourself and your health down, but nothing seems to be changing. You can't seem to control things. Right now, you can't control the government, for example. You can't control the economy. Even intangible things like the weather, you can't control them. Can you? You can't control coronavirus. You can't control the airports and when they will open up. for business or for commercial transit and all that. What are you going to do? I think it's time you switch from panic mode to rest mode, because God is faithful. I think this is a time for you to remember every single thing you've ever known or heard about God, that He comes through. And this is the time for you to stand still. Why should you stand still at a point like this? Number one, you can't control every situation. Number two, probably if you stay still and not work yourself out or fret or give yourself some high blood pressure, then you will live long enough to see the end of the matter. Because the matter actually has an end. The things concerning you have an end. You're going to see the end of this. But make sure you stay alive, stay well, and stay healthy. And health is not just physical body health. Health includes emotional health, the health of your spirit. You know, the apostle, the writer was saying, I wish that you prosper and be in health even as your soul prospers. So the health of your soul is very important, because you're going to live with that soul and that heart for many more decades ahead. So probably you should keep your health alive and well and stable, including your emotional health. This is not the time for you to start shouting at everybody and just losing your mind and all that. Keep your health, keep your mind. And the Bible says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. This is time to keep your heart in peace. Keep your health in peace, in one piece, ready to see the end of the matter. Another reason you should stand still is, in that state of rest, if there's anything else you need to do, that is when you will hear it. That is when God will drop it in your heart. It could just come. There could just be one tiny thing you should do, but you've done all you know to do. At this point, stand still, so that if there's one tiny little thing, that last straw that will break the camel's back, God will find the space, He will find the right heart and this restful heart in you to be able to drop that tiny bit of wisdom that will probably make all the difference. And then another reason you should stand still is, you should actually look to see if there is something He has already said. Most times when God seems silent, it's because He has spoken. He said something already. He said something He needs you to do and you've not done, or He said something He needed you to do and you have done it. So at this point, wait. Stay on the word. Sometimes He just wants you to wait. Actually, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. It's not every time God wants us to do. It's not just a do life. Sometimes it's a being. Sometimes He wants you to be in a state of rest. B-E-I-N-G, a state of being, a state of confident trust, a state of rest, a state of knowing assuredly that it's not just going to let you drown in the sea. And then it's also possible there is something He said last that you're not listening to. If that thing is said last, it's just that simply, I'm going to take care of this, rest, then He's really going to take care of it, because you can't. Have you not noticed you can't seem to change anything so far? Then this is the time to let Him handle it. Then one more thing I need to say. Focus on what's next in front of you. Focus on what is right in front of you right now. Like, if this is a time for you to spend more time doing something that you can do, then this is the time for you to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. If you're at rest, He will speak to you. If there's something you need to hear, if He's not speaking, it actually means He's godless. The just shall live by His faith. Now, one more thing I need to say. It is also possible through this process, there are certain lessons you need to learn. Maybe there are things God told you on the journey, and you're probably not sensitive, or you're busy, or you didn't give Him attention, or you were just outright stubborn. Sometimes we're stubborn like that and all that. Maybe it is the time for you to learn the lessons. He will take care of it. He will take care of the situation. But it needs you to learn the lessons for next time, so that you're more equipped, you're more able, you're better at following God, His corrections, His leadings, His guidance next time, even when they are subtle and it looks like they are negligible. But everything is important. But at this point in your life, I feel what is in my heart for you to know is, stand still, and everything else will gradually fall into place. One thing is sure, He won't let you drown, He won't let you fail, and you will not fall into shame. God bless you.